Howdy folks, Billy G with Thank God It's RC coming to you again from my workshop in the garage with episode 2 of our TRC build series, Titanium Rock Crawler. Today we are going to be installing the servo, what else? Portal weights, and making a few other adjustments as needed. So without further ado, let's get to it. Pro tip, when you are trying to assemble this hot mess, trying to get your links lined up where they go with this servo plate lined up where it has to go, and getting a bolt through the whole thing the way it's supposed to, and then there's 2 bolts that go into the axle this way. Use a thin rod to shove through where the main bolt goes through, line up all your links and everything, and then you can flip the thing over and put your screws in the bottom, because trying to get all that together is a pain in the butt. So that's my pro tip. So we got it through everything. Then we're going to install the lower bolts, and then we'll go back. Right now I'm waiting on, so the kit came with this 40mm M3. It also came with like a 50mm. Let's see. Yep, it looks longer than 50, but about 50mm bolt. But I need a 45mm to go through here. So I ordered another set of hardware like this that's got like 40 through 60 or something like that. It's got some massive long screws. Use them for something. So I ordered a kit of those because it was $2 more than just ordering a kit of 45mm. So instead of getting 60 bolts, I got like 300. Go figure. So when that comes in, I'll put the correct size bolt through here. But for lining up purposes, use a thin rod. It's easier to shove that through than it is to try and finagle a bolt through there. Okay, so installing the Mias brass portal hubs, I took the original hub cover off. The bearings stayed on the axle, basically. So I pushed the Mias cover onto the axle and pulled it off. The bearings were started inside the holes. I took a tiny socket that fit over the top of them and a rubber mallet, and boop, 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 boop. Pop them down flush inside the new brass portal cover. It's got grease in there, but not enough to my liking. So I've got some red tack grease here. I'm just going to put a little bit of grease in here. And get it all spun around in there before I button this thing up. So give me a second. Okay, now I'm satisfied with the amount of grease in there. Nice and lubed up. We're going to put the cover on and get it all bolted up. Let's see if we can do this single-handedly. Nope. Okay, so reassembling these, I've noticed that the heads of the supplied hardware from Mias, I don't know if you can see that, but it does not fit in the hole it's intended to go into. So we're reusing the original hardware that came off the covers. So you see those fit nicely down in the hole. The new hardware that came with it, the head doesn't fit down in the hole, so they don't work. I can probably use the new ones up here because they don't go down in a hole. All right. Okay, so that's one side all installed. We'll get the pin through here and the hex back on there, and we'll go ahead and put the other side on. Okay, after realizing that the heads of the hardware that came with the weights were too big, putting the second side on was a piece of cake. So here are the two screws. On the left is the original ones that came out of the plastic housing. On the right is the screw that came with the portal weights, and the head of that screw will not fit in that hole, so it wouldn't recess in there. So I thought I was having alignment issues and was fiddling with it for a few minutes before I realized to check that it was the head not fitting in the hole. So what I ended up doing is, in the 3 holes here, I used the original screws from the plastic portal covers, and on the top holes up here I used the new ones. I could have used the originals for all, but you know, I did, what the heck, I figured it came with some new hardware, I put some new hardware in there. So, but looking very nice. Added a little weight to the front, which is what I wanted. We're trying to make this into a super crawler, and we'll see what we get. So we've mounted the servo onto the plate with the little servo ears, put the horn on. I installed the shorter arm versus having a long arm coming on the other side. This is the bar that came with the axle. The short arm actually came with the link kit, I believe, or maybe it came with something else, I don't know, can't remember. So we got that together. Like I said, I installed the plate for the battery back here. My pro tip was to use this rod here to get it all lined up, so I'm still waiting on a screw that will fit in there the right length to close that up, so I'll install that when it comes in. The battery, I ordered a smaller battery. You can see this one doesn't fit in here. It's just a hair too wide and a hair too long, so hopefully the new battery that comes in will fit. Otherwise we'll have to come up with a different game plan for that. So like, I ordered the drive shafts. I need to go make a couple brackets for this. I'm just going to model them up in CAD and then 3D print them. Appreciate y'all watching. Hope this series is helping somebody figure out some issues that we're having assembling these kits. Like I said, it's not meant to be like a full build series, show you how I put it together. It's more of a show you the issues I've run into and how I've overcome them. So hope that's helping somebody out. This has been Billy Jean with Thank God It's RC. Y'all have a great day.